Hour of Devastation, deck tech number 1. Yo, welcome in. Much love. Trev here. Hope you're doing amazing. Appreciate you all so much. Appreciate you specifically for being here with me today and following along as we learn and grow playing Magic. Sometimes not playing Magic. Today we're going to talk about my first Hour of Devastation draft, what I feel about the set, give you guys some tips and some keys to drafting. And quick word on the new format. You can see it's just a screen share. And do you like this? It's easier for me to do than laying the cards out again because I can do it outside. You can hear the birds in the background, and smaller files, easier to upload. So I appreciate your feedback on that. If it's even acceptable, I'm all in on this new style. So hope you find it useful. Okay, Hour of Devastation draft. Some of y'all want to be good. Some of y'all want to win a lot. I want to win a lot. If I go 6-0 at the next Pro Tour draft, then I'm headed to Worlds for sure. If I go 5-1, then I've got a good chance. If I have 4-2, then I have a chance. So it's important to me to try to be the best at this because, hell, man, how many times do you have a chance to be world champion at anything? So best in the world at draft, I want to go for it. So we have this new format, talk about it a little bit. You can see I have this blue-red thing here, starting with Hour of Devastation. A few keys about the new draft format for those who want the big picture. You're going to want to play 17 or 18 lands most of the time. Some of you have gotten used to playing 16 or even 15 with Super Aggro Amonkhet. The reason you want to play 17 and sometimes even 18 is because you have these lands that cycle. So you have flood insurance, you draw too many, there's something you can do. And also because there's a good amount of lands floating around that have certain abilities and are colorless, like Cradle of the Accursed. Some of the new ones that you don't mind using, throwing away your lands to do stuff. And they're deserts. You want deserts for a lot of these cards, like Sand Motherfucking Strangler is a beast body, and he needs deserts to work, right? So, another key to this draft format is, the 2-mana exert creatures are still insane, and what makes them insane is when you're on the play. In Magic and draft in general, we talked about this. We're talking about this in when to draw first. When you're playing first, you really don't want to trade resources because for a few reasons. The one is they have one extra card over you. So the more you trade down, the more that one card difference is magnified and turns into them having one threat versus your empty board and you on top decks. So you want to avoid trading when you're on the play. And also, you want to avoid trading because you want to use your tempo time advantage of getting to play a land first, right? Land first or draw first, right? When you're land first, you want your exert creature to exert, and what exerting does, they can't trade with it, period, right? On the second turn, it plays into your game plan. So, those are still the best creatures, and what it means is Spellweaver Eternal is really not as good as I was hoping. It looks incredible with the prowess and the afflict, but most of the time, it's not going to trade with their creature if you want it to, and they're going to be able to trade with it if they want to. So, like, you attack with it on the third turn. Unless you kill their creature or use a pump spell, they're still going to be able to trade with it. And yeah, you get the afflict damage through, but you'd rather just not trade on the play at all. So, thoughts on that card and on the format in general make you think a little bit about playing first, drawing first, etc. So I started off this draft with Hour of Eternity, which is pretty sick. It doesn't look as good as holding it up to the camera, but it's for X, it makes 4/4s, and it's good. But I realized that later that if it was the Pro Tour or Premier event, I might just pick a Ronus Stalwart, like a green 2-drop, and just try to be fast rather than play something bomb or clunky. I'm undecided on that, so I took that one. And I moved into blue and picked up some creatures and some tricks and some Eternalized and a bunch of these Unquenchable Thirst and some deserts. So word on the deserts, like you may not see them, you might not get them, and that'll fuck with your mana base, or you need to play off-color deserts, or you get the deserts that you need, but you have to pick them over good spells. So it's good when you can just kind of table them and it sucks when you really have to prioritize them high. So I think it's reasonable also to just not play too many Deserts Matter cards and not worry too much about it. Okay, some Unquenchable Thirst, some Strategic Plannings. What is good about this deck is you don't get mana screwed or mana flooded. There's a chance of mana screw, but I've got 10 blue sources, I've got 8 red sources. I first picked Evolving Wells, have great mana. If I draw too many lands, I can scry with Riddle Form. I can unearth or embalm Earthshaker Kenra or Proven Combatant. If I've got too few lands, I can Shimmer Scale Drake. I can cycle Censor. I can Supreme Will for a land. I can Strategic Planning for a land or a spell. So basically, this is a deck that very flexible mana cost, great mana, isn't going to get flooded or screwed, but the one issue with it is it's not great tempo, because if you're taking time off to fix your hand and the opponent has a perfect curve out and plays to the board, then they can still roll you. So there's oftentimes some tension between low variance being low power as well, where you're going to have fewer mana screw games, but you're going to occasionally lose to set curve out. So I went 2-1. I lost to a bunch of Binding Mummies on curve. Although, I mean, no Catcher's Avenger on curve. Whatever, this deck wins when the opponent floods or the opponent's screwed. If it's on the draw versus a fast start, didn't like my odds too much there. So, in retrospect, I don't know so much about these Strategic Plannings. I do like Riddle Form because it's either, it's good when you're screwed and you're just casting spells. It's good when you're flooded and it lets you scry. In general, the set is kind of more of the same. There's a few new wrinkles, but most of the same principles apply. Like maybe one more land, have to pick lands higher as well, and you're still playing first and try to tempo people out. So hope that was helpful. Let me show you a blurry picture, which is my surfboard. Of cards I didn't play. Wait, Censor was in there. I don't actually like Essence Scatter on the draw very much, so I would side it in on the play sometimes. I thought about splashing the green and the white versus something very slow. That never came up. And Winds of Rebuke, I prefer on summon unless you have like tons of payoff for milling yourself. So that's what I went with, and that's the deck that I cooked up. 2-1, decent start, but I need to step it up and improve, and I already learned a lot from this one if I'm going to go and win the Pro Tour draft. So that's my goal. Come along with me. If you're in the Magic for Good group, post up your drafts. I won't necessarily comment, but I look at those things. They're cool to see. Those of y'all who want me to definitely look and want some feedback, then apply to join the mastermind. The link below. It's a premium coaching program, not for everybody, but we got a great group of guys in here. So much love, and see you in the comments. Speak with you soon. Take care and peace.